Alright, so welcome everybody. This is going to be a tutorial for Sacred Icon Co-op using the AUP trick, turning into the Sentinel Constructor. This trick is only going to be possible on easy, normal, and heroic, but in the sense of co-op, in the speedruns, easy is going to be the only difficulty we're going to be worrying about here. A few settings to worry about real quick. So since I will be turning into the Sentinel Constructor, I need to change my settings for movement. If I'm on controller, I need to change to classic aiming right here. That allows me to move diagonally and move faster. On mouse and keyboard, you'll need to configure your bindings for vehicles. There's going to be a vehicle key 1 function, and you should set that to whatever you want your boost button to be. Mine's going to be shift. You can choose yours to whatever you want it to be. And then it also does not matter which player is host. If you guys both have good connections, then it can be whoever. Alright, let's get started.
Alright, so at the very start of the mission, there are 3 constructors that come in. 1, 2, 3. Technically there's 6, but we're only worrying about these 3 because they shoot. And whenever they shoot, it messes things up, and it makes it to where we can't do the AUP. So, we need to kill them. The way that we're going to be doing that is 2 players, both of us. We're going to be using our carbine, and we're going to shoot all the constructors dead. It doesn't matter which order you kill them in, just that they die. And another thing is you need to be sure that you empty out your entire carbine mag. You don't want to shoot like 1 less and then reload it, or you don't want to just not shoot at all. You need to empty out your entire mag until the game makes you reload. Even if you kill the constructors like within the first like 2 bullets, make sure that you empty out your whole first mag of the carbine. And then afterwards, whoever is going to be setting up the pinch needs to be coming back here and immediately stick the scrunt. And while you're getting up to him, he's going to start shooting at this door, and you will probably never be able to get him to never shoot at least once. So what we like to do is we like to come up here, we like to start counting how many times he's shooting as we're sticking him, and then obviously in an actual run he's gonna die to stop shooting, but in the interest of the speedrun and consistency, if he fires, let's say 0 bullets, we're gonna shoot 6 bullets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If he shoots 1 bullet, you're gonna shoot 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if he shoots like 3 times, they're gonna shoot 3, etc, etc. You're trying to get the count up to 6, since that is the most consistent number for this, since you'll probably never shoot beyond 6 bullets unless you're pretty bad at the video game. And then afterwards, your co-op partner is going to be sticking these 2 sentinel emitters. And one thing to note is make sure you do not pick up any of these grenades on the ground yet. Any of these grenades, you do not want to pick up anything. It's possible for your co-op partner to pick up a mag of carbine on the ground, but that does not matter. And then afterwards, you're going to run over to this spot. You're gonna get your partner jump up to here, and you're gonna sit right up against the ceiling here. And while you're doing that, your co-op partner is going to stand right here, and when you tell him to, or whenever you're ready, he's going to stick himself up against this wall. Make sure it bounces and it sticks him. If it does not stick him, trick will not work and you need to reset. So you stick yourself, and then you run over and you pick up this grenade right here. That grenade is the key. It is possible for the trick to work if you pick up this grenade or this grenade, but in the interest of the speedrun, the fastest grenade that we have found to get the setup the fastest is this grenade. So yeah, he's going to stick himself, run over, pick up the grenade as he dies. If you pick up this one as well, the trick will not work. It needs to be this grenade and this grenade only.
Yes, so to expand onto that, the timing of this grenade stick is actually going to be quite important. So there's going to be 3 additional constructors that spawn after this initial group. We do not have to kill this group. However, they do need to die. And how they die is they fly up into this pipe, and at 16.5 seconds, they explode, their debris goes on the ground, and we don't have to worry about them anymore. But what this means is that we cannot die before 16.5 seconds. So what I suggest for the players sticking themselves is to not throw the plasma until slightly after 15 seconds on the IGT ticks over. That'll make it so you die at about 16.75 to 17 seconds on the IGT. That will give you.
Keep in mind,
yes,
this is for the IL. For full game, I would recommend not even sticking yourself until after probably 17 seconds or 17.5, maybe even 18. The reason for that is whenever VyPr is sticking himself at 15.5, the 3 constructors are still alive at that point. But if any of them were to be deloaded at the time that he threw his grenade, that would mess the trick up.
Yeah, so if you are doing full game, delay about 1.5 seconds. That will eliminate all variance between the deload times and the constructors. In the IL though, 15.5 seconds is about the fastest you can go, and that will give you a pinch time of either a really late 19 or a really early 20, which is the fastest possible you can go at the start.
And in full game, you're going to be expecting to get a time of about 25 seconds on average, just to be safe. Okay, so we're going to restart and we're going to set this up. I'm going to shoot them all dead. Come over here. Shoot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, he's shot a ghost shot, so that's 4 bullets. Okay, now we're gonna get up here. And then I'm gonna shoot 2 extra bullets to make sure that we're up to 6 bullets. He's gonna stick himself. And then we're good here. And now we're gonna restart, and we're gonna do basically the exact same thing, except we're not gonna set up into this pinch spot. Okay, I do not think he ghost shot there. So, 1, 2, 3. And at this point, right as you're passing through right here, you're gonna tell your co-op partner to die. And then after he's dead, you're gonna jump on down, melee once, and then sit in this corner. By sitting in this corner, your partner will spawn directly in the middle of the hallway, which is what you want to have the cleanest movement. But as you can see, he's the constructor. He can even shoot me.
It takes a really long time to use this weapon though, so we're not going to use it for the speedrun. I just want to add something real quick, is that if you spawn in the player about halfway through the hallway to just about the front, the constructor usually spawns in this nook, and you can actually get stuck here for a decent amount of time before you wiggle yourself out. So definitely make sure to spawn your partner in that back spot. Okay, so now that we're the constructor, there's a few basic movement techniques that we need to go over. So there's the typical just moving forward. This is pretty slow, but we will be moving just forward whenever we hit a button, because on Season 7 and Season 8, there's actually splatter differences where you splatter much more likely on Season 7. So with that reduced speed, we're not going to splatter ourselves. So now if we do our vehicle function 1, which for me is shift, that will give us a boost. That'll move us about twice as fast, which is definitely faster. And now, since there is a strange way that the Sentinel Constructor is programmed in Halo 2, you can actually get diagonal movement, which is faster than moving just forward. So here's forward, here's diagonal, and here's with boosting. So this gives us a speed just shy of acrophobia. and that's going to be the fastest way to move throughout the level. We're going to actually be saving a significant amount of time moving diagonal versus moving forward. However, when you're first learning this route, you should do it all moving straight forward because you will most likely splatter on everything if you do not practice beforehand. So the route I'm going to be taking is going to be the best possible route, but I'm going to be mentioning at some points to slow down here as you're learning the route or doing full game. And that is because some of these gaps are extremely small, so if you're moving at full speed, you will most likely splatter. Yeah, as we go through here, we're going to hit the first piston. Whenever we hit a piston, we can sit in the front of this corner, and this allows us to move through pretty much right when the piston moves because of how small the constructor is. Now for full game here, we're going to have a small difference. Full game, we're going to go around here, and that's going to be really safe. For ILs, we're going to go through this little node, and that's going to give us the fastest possible route. Now as we pass this first A-frame here, we're going to tell our co-op partner to die, and that will allow them to spawn at the next piston. So now that the partner is here, the reason that we do this is that in this area there is a big trigger volume. It checks once every second, which is actually the case with every one of these pistons. And because we're moving so fast and we're such a small size, it is pretty likely that we're actually not going to hit the trigger. Okay, next point is right here. When we pass this line, we want to tell our co-op partner to die again. This is so that way they can shoot one of the pillars at the end. Up here, we can go full speed and not splatter, as long as you hit everything at an angle. Then we want to pick up this carbine. And then we want to switch weapons so we have no weapons out. This is going to be for picking up a beam later. Now this Sentinel Enforcer cannot see us, but it can see our co-op partner. So we just want to be out of the way so we don't get shot. Next, just fly into the gondola so that way you trigger the buyer's remorse and then fly out into the void. Now you want to have your co-op partner get off the gondola and hang off to the side so that way we don't hit a deload trigger. Also, so that way they can time their death, because if they die too early, you can actually splatter on them while you're flying. So die Harc. We want to spawn them up here so that way they don't splatter us once again. And then there's going to be a trigger right here, so you want to hit that, make sure to hit it. Okay, so I line up with these lines right here. Now, we're going to fly through this door. You can either fly through this corner or this corner. When you go through, you do not want to boost. If you do boost, you'll either splatter or just straight up deload. We're going to fly through this corner. As soon as we go through the corner, and we hit this button, and the pylon starts to go down, you tell your co-op partner to die. So die Harc. This prevents them from spawning and splattering you during that load. Now this next piston is on a cycle. So if you get the fastest possible cycle, you'll be able to just instantly hit that piston. However, you can be delayed up to about 1.5 seconds, and that's just completely based on when you get to the piston, according to the in-game timer. So here we're just going to take nice tight routes, going high, so that way we can go a little quicker. Okay. Here, I suggest going nice and slow because it's really easy to splatter. And then here, you want to hit this side so that way you can come up to the front. Now here, I actually suggest not moving diagonally until you're through this doorway. And then you can cut through here. And now you just want to stay pretty parallel. Picking up this sentinel beam is good for the infight. I just picked up beam Harc. So you want to tell your co-op partner to pick up when you pick up the beam, so that way they can time their death. Here you just want to fly normally because you will almost always splatter. And then as soon as you open up this, your co-op partner will probably spawn, and they're going to be going through the pipes while you fly this way. You're going to fly straight down.
I sort of got messed up.
Do I need to spawn you again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you waited a bit too long to pop for me. The area not safe.
Let me know when you're in.
I will. Teammate in combat. Yeah, normally in an actual run this won't happen because you're going fast.
This is just because I was waiting and trying to explain the level a bit. Okay.
I'm here.
So Harc's going to go down the pipes. I'm going to be going down, and because I'm going diagonally, I'm going to actually going to need to spin in circles. That way I can maintain my position. Okay, Harc, go ahead and explain the next part.
So you're going to want to tell your co-op partner that you've hit the trigger once you land basically on this beam here. So I've hit the trigger. That's just to make sure that everything's good. You're going to want to pick up carbine and sword just like you would in solo, and then you're going to drop down the pipe. And at a certain point down the pipe right here, there's going to be a part of the pipe that you can that's actually more like slanted and solid than the others, so you can actually get a jump off. And then you're just going to wait here on the opposite side. Right down below me is a loading trigger that will teleport my co-op partner, and we do not want to hit that until our co-op partner tells us to hit the trigger. And I'll let VyPr explain why.
Yeah, so as we come down, you're going to see that this is where the vent normally is at the end of the pipes, but it's not here. So our initial trigger that we need to hit is it's about right outside this box, and all you have to do is touch the wall or go inside, and you'll hit the first trigger. Now, next thing we want to do is go on this little slanted polygon that's gray, and then you want to kind of scoot backwards so that way you're flush. Next thing we're going to do here is zoom in. Now there's this white line here. We want to look at this little divot on the inside corner, so right there. And you want to line it up with the top left triangle on the point. This will give us our lineup. Now we're going to want to move diagonally, so W, A, and then boost. That's going to hit our trigger. Next, you'll want to switch to your sentinel beam. And now, in order to progress the mission, you need to kill these two flood. And then you need to sit in the next trigger, which is going to be below the turrets and about this distance away. This would normally trigger Half-Jaw's dialogue. He's at the bottom of the map. But on Season 7, it doesn't actually play. It doesn't save time, but that's just a difference. On Season 8, you will hear it. Now, there's going to be various locations that the flood can spawn at. They'll typically spawn there, 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 and there. That's where all of the holes are if you were to play this mission, or the pits, play the mission normally. Now, if they don't spawn in a pit, they'll actually just fall to their deaths, which is what occurred with that flood and that flood. So we're just going to kill this group here. And now we're going to be waiting for 8 seconds. That's when the next wave will spawn. On Season 10, though, it will be 10 seconds. So there's 2 seconds of time difference between two versions of the game. So we're going to get our last 2 spawns here. Now, it is possible that your second wave just will all fall to their deaths. That's because none of them spawn in the pit. Now, in this case, they did. We'll kill 3 of them. And then after you kill the last flood, you want to wait 1.5 seconds before you tell your co-op partner to go. Go, Harc. They will then port you. Now, there's a 50-50 chance that you will just deload. We don't know the exact reason from that. It's probably based on positioning.
But never fear, we have a carbine and sword, and all we have to do to be inside the in-level trigger is to just sit right here.
Yep. And so normally the Phantom would be
that
in
the Phantom
here.
has not spawned.
Yes. Well, this is a situation, so I purposefully waited more than 1.5 seconds. Because this is something that will most likely occur to everybody when they're first learning the trick. So if you wait longer than that 1.5 seconds, the Phantom will spawn, but it'll spawn out of bounds. Now, the actual out of bounds spot that it spawns in is inside this building, which causes it to in the ground. So it will flip continuously. You don't want that to happen in the speedrun because you're losing a lot of time. So just make sure that after you kill that last enemy, you hit the load fairly quick. And as long as actually all the popcorn flood hit the ground from that second wave, you can hit the load as soon as the last wave flood dies. It just does occur sometimes that you do have to wait that 1.5 seconds. That is the entirety of the route. This ending trigger is pretty big, so all you have to do is touch this wall. I think Harc already explained that. And